Hi guys, I am back. This is Yanni. This is Yanni today, right? Now I'm not the other thing when I'm with people that does not relate to what I do for a living. So you guys know the last time we were here with the lovely Trinity to the Bone.
Trinity to the Bone.
Right.
Rishi.
Rishi, our licensed mortgage lender. And today I bought the beautiful Haitian. Shout out to the Haitian. There we go. The one and only one of the best realtors in the Essex County. I have worked with her. She is amazing. Right? Love her. She goes above and beyond. Right? And today's just a conversation. You know, the last time you were talking to Rishi and I, we were talking about the fears, coming away from the fears of home ownership.
And overcoming those fears.
Right. Yeah. So today you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting the money guy, and you're getting the looksy girl. Is that right? The looksy. She gets the house. The hunter. Right. There you go. And she, let me give them a chance to just reintroduce themselves. Ladies first.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is CYNTHIA LUBIN. I am a local real estate agent in the Essex and Union County area, but I will go to Middlesex, Hudson. Talk to me. I travel. I'm a local realtor in the area. I specialize primarily with buyers, but I do also do listings. I do rentals. Definitely very passionate about home ownership, so look forward to having this conversation today. And if anybody needs help, hopefully after this,
your information is going up just like it. Yes. And quickly, how long have you been doing this?
I have been an agent. I'm going into my third full year, so passing that hump. And prior to that, I was in accounting.
That's what I love. I was waiting for you to say that because you were helping me starting with accounting information, right? Yes. So you're like a double-edged sword, if you want to say that.
Very, very, like I said, I'm passionate about home ownership. I'm passionate about wealth and numbers. So, and then prior to that, I was a loan officer myself.
Wow.
So.
See?
Oh, nice.
Right, multi-talented. Okay, and Rishi, just to reiterate, what do you do?
Hi everyone, my name is RISHI, licensed mortgage lender. I'm licensed in the state of New Jersey, so I am able to do loans in the entire state of New Jersey. My company, PRMG, is licensed nationwide, so if you're looking for a loan in another state, we can definitely provide that for you. My passion is really and truly helping my fellow man attain home ownership, build wealth through home ownership. And I've been licensed for 6 years. This April will be, my 6th year anniversary.
Nice. Veterans. So, with the economy, first we broke the ice the last time, letting people know, reassuring them that, listen, you want to buy a home, it's really not as hard as you think. And we got some nice feedback. A lot of people said, people who are already in the process, we basically reiterated what they were already doing. And people who wants to do it, they were like, right, I'm at ease now, I can do this, right? So let's talk about different types of homes. You guys come in, the multifamily compared, you as the person who the person who looks for the house. That's the correct terminology, right? The realtor. The difference between why some people will go towards a multifamily versus a single family, and how is the market with the multifamily?
Well, the primary reason people will choose a multifamily or want a multifamily over a single is the income potential that multifamilies can generate. Whereas with a single family, you are responsible for the mortgage payment. So while there is a benefit to having a single family home, you can still build equity that way. You are responsible. It's based off the income that you generate, to pay the mortgage. Whereas if you have a multifamily, you can, depending on how many units that you have, you may be able to cover all or a significant portion of your mortgage payment expense. And there's added advantages like the tax deductions, additional tax deductions that you get for the investment portion of the property. So you have somebody paying like I said, all or some of your mortgage, the tax deduction benefits, and you know, they're just more valuable.
More
Kind of
valuable.
getting like 2 homes in one.
In one.
Or, you know.
So I guess it's kind of like it depends on, because we were talking about that earlier, and you being the guy with the money. It depends on what the person wants.
Exactly.
Right, because some people would rather not have tenants. I'm sure you get that a lot, right? So,
That is me.
right, I know. Some people are like, I just don't want to deal with tenants, and some people, you know, like myself, you both know that. I'm like, I need that other source of income, right? So, what are you seeing now? Are you seeing more into what's happening currently? Are you seeing more multifamily? People demanding multifamily or single families?
You know something? Good question here, Yanni. Part of my clientele, it seems, that are coming to me now more often, they are looking for multifamilies.
Okay.
You know, they want to get into, you know, everyone wants to get into a house, but they want to use it as an investment vehicle as well. So I'm seeing, I'd say a significant portion, I'd say about 60% of my clients, they're looking for multifamily homes.
Okay.
Yeah, as opposed to a single family or even a townhouse or a condo.
Okay.
They're looking for that extra income, that safety blanket to offset their monthly mortgage payment.
Okay. Now you just mentioned something. We talked about the single, and while we were talking and setting up the camera, you guys mentioned condo. And the reason why I'm interested in that, I have a couple of clients closing on condos right now as we speak. Is a co-op considered a condo? Or is that something different?
Totally different.
Totally different. Okay, but they want condos. One client explained that it's because you don't have to worry about anything. They handle it. So do you get a lot? There you go, on the exterior, right? Do you get a lot of that? People wanting condos.
I don't get a lot of it, but I mean, I do actually have maybe like 1 or 2 people I'm currently working with that are looking for condos. And I think, you know, if you're really adamant that you just don't want the responsibility like ever, have something. So if that's the case, get a condo, get a townhouse. It's still, you know, from a financial perspective, better than renting. You know, you're still building some equity. And you also have the ability to, you know, when it's time for you to expand or move on, when you kind of get used to what home ownership looks like, and you know, want to move on to something else, you can rent it out.
So it's a nice little beginner.
It's a starter home.
It's a start. Do you get a lot of people wanting condos? To happen once in a while. So it's not often. It's not often. Right.
All depends on the clientele. And to Cynthia's point, as long as you have something, right?
Right.
As long as you have something and you're building that equity within yourself, you know, it's better than renting.
Right.
I see a lot, and not to say anything as far as age or anything like that, but you know, individuals who don't want to be bothered with the day-to-day maintenance of a house.
That's what I was told.
They prefer going into a condo and you know, having everything taken care of for them.
Yeah. But I tell people all the time, like, I have a single family home. I'm probably the first, you know, or one of the first in my family to own a home. And it's really like, how often does the roof cave in? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't
like,
happen.
Things don't make
I guess they're more afraid of like the boiler goes out.
But if you get something that, you know, is manageable to you, that's the point. You should be able to like put money to the side.
Always put money, for a rainy day.
There's insurance. Like there's ways to get around a lot of all of that stuff. So if I could own a home, I tell people all the time, if I could own a home.
You know something? And it's not that hard. You know, home ownership is not that hard. On our last video, we discussed, you know, binding your belly and making sure that you put aside money, and you know, you definitely limit your unnecessary expenses, right? As long as you save and you put together a plan, anyone could own a home. It is not hard.
Absolutely.
You know, owning a home is like riding a bike, right?
You learn as you go.
You learn as you go, and once you learn how to do it, you can do it over and over again.
And ask questions. I learned that. I came in green. I was young, baby, goo-goo, gaga, calling up. I still call you.
That's okay.
I was like one step away from a pacifier in my mouth. That's
but you were a listener, and
a quick learner too. But let's go into the next one, renovations, because you talk about, of course, you can't renovate a condo, and you talk about what if something goes wrong with the house, or you get a house that is not the best.
Okay.
And let's say somebody got a good price for that house. That house is selling on that block. It's a nice price, but it needs work.
That's where I love to help my clients out.
Right.
Let me tell you why. All right. So not only are you getting the house at a good price, right, and you're gonna renovate the house to your liking, your standards, put the touches that you would want in the house. You're literally buying a shell, and by the time that renovation is completed, the equity that you've earned by doing those renovations is unfathomable. I would say.
Absolutely.
If you're looking to get into a property and put your touches on it and build instant equity, the renovation loan is the way to go. Yeah.
I encourage my clients.
That's what I was about to tell you. As a realtor, would you encourage them to get fixed? I like to call everything a fixer-upper, right? I know it's not that, but a fixer-upper versus a brand, because you sold to my client, we call her Jay. She got a brand. She was
brand new, spanking new.
She was there Saturday. Hi, Jay.
We always got to shout out Jay because
that's how we met, right? She got. In fact, she helped build her house. She
put the touches in it. She wanted those finishings. She wanted this here.
Right.
So yeah, she got to do that from. And I mean, this is breaking ground from ground up, right?
Yeah.
So not everyone could do that, right? If that's not what you want to do, but don't overlook the fixer-upper homes or
I'm the
homes.
fixer-upper. I am queen. I don't know why. Since I was young, I was like, give me that old haunted house or the ex-crackhead house. Wow. I'm being honest, because come on, guys. I can say that. In Essex County, there's a lot of boarded up houses. That was once,
You're not alone.
Right.
Because you see.
There's beauty in it.
You see a lot of people drive
a
lot of.
And that's a very powerful thing.
You see beauty in these houses. Everybody see that. Wasn't that the crackhead house? Right. A little stick to itiveness. Do you? So as the realtor, do you get what do you get more of? The person who wants in the brand new house where they have no work to do, or the person like me who wants to put a little elbow, like you say, a little elbow grease?
I get the person who wants the renovated home but wants to pay the rehab home price.
which is it's crazy because one will be more expensive than the other.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So I get, the mixture. So I always try to find, a fine line for my clients. So I'm all for getting a deal. So I'm not impressed by a lot of I love the flips. Let me rephrase that. I do love looking at them, but like you were saying, you can do a lot of that stuff yourself, and if an investor does it, they're gonna want their money back. Whereas like you were talking about kind of the sweat equity, I'm like, get that discount, and it's really not gonna cost, they're probably charging a 50, 60, 70 extra for the work that they've done. Yeah. Like a lot of the work isn't really that expensive to do, or as expensive that you would think. And you'll still have a cushion, by the time you're done and what the final value will be.
Right.
So I'm like, try to get that deal.
So
like,
your
if
house
you can find something
cheap, and then after you fix it up, it just went up a few. Quiet a few.
And I'm not talking about some of my clients, they're very nervous or scary, and I wouldn't put them in a situation where you're doing a major project, but I'll gauge it for them, and I'm like, okay, go for this.
So you find the right house for the right based on, because you're very good on. I remember when we first met you, what are you looking for? And I'm assuming that's what you do. Okay, this fits Yanni, this fits.
Yeah, she's not scared. She's not scared.
No, I grew up with a single mother with only daughters. We helped build our house. We had to, in Trinidad, you know about that. We had to carry buckets of cement and sand.
You were not scared. I was like, okay.
I wasn't. So right now, right there we were talking about the multifamily, the renovation, and that's the cosmetic side of it. But what you get is people are buying, and it is a competitive market. So is it right now, you could chime in either way, is it a buyer's or a seller's market?
It is big time a seller's market.
Wow.
You would agree? Yeah. Agreed. So right now what we're seeing is we have less inventory and more buyers. Yeah, so much more buyers looking for properties than we have inventory.
Really? Because we have the migration from New York happening.
Oh yes. People are coming from Brooklyn, Queens, New York City.
The rents are outrageous there, and when they see how much home prices, they're just flocking.
Okay, so how could one be successful seeing that it is you said it's a seller's market,
right? It is a seller's market.
Okay, so this house, and you got and you got at least 10 people wanting this house. How could let me ask the realtor first? How could one stand out? And you guys, when you're ready, you went through the first part when we did this together. Now this is part 2. So pay attention, guys. You're gonna learn how to really snatch up that house, because it's a relationship. You see that, you're like, and your heart flutter, and you see that's the one. I'm gonna marry that one, right? It's like that, and you want to stand out, right? How does one become a successful buyer?
To be successful in this market, I mean, honestly, there's not much room for negotiation, to be honest. So I wouldn't try to ask for, concessions or something that sellers aren't, really keen to in this market.
And what are the concessions for the folks? Because I didn't know whether you taught me that word. For the folks who's really new to this, we gotta really.
A concession. Maybe Richie can explain that.
So what a concession is, in the event that the buyer doesn't have the money to pay for closing costs.
Okay.
The seller could allow what's called a seller concession, and that's where you're actually financing the closing costs onto the loan. So let's just say, for example, the house is listed at $450,000. and you need $10,000 to $15,000 for closing costs. You can ask the seller to finance the closing costs as a seller concession. So now instead of $450, you're at $465 or $460. So you're financing that additional $10,000-$15,000 onto the loan. Now the drawback to that is, keep in mind the seller is asking $450 for their house. Now, if the seller does accept your offer at $450 plus the $15,000 seller concession, the slight drawback to that is the house must appraise for the $465. So for you to get the seller concession tacked onto the loan, a seller may be willing to do that, but just keep in mind you're now tying up the seller's time in the event that the house does not appraise.
Right.
So you're going in with an offer and you're asking for a seller concession where there may be another offer where that individual is offering, let's just say, $460, and they don't need a seller concession. So they went up $10,000 and they're willing to pay $10,000 over the asking price of the house.
Okay.
Now, if the house does not appraise for the $460, they could still give the seller the $450 or whatever the house appraised for. So it's a little bit it's tricky in the sense that the house must appraise in order for that seller concession to be worthwhile to the seller to accept it, and also for you as the buyer to request that from the seller.
And who's negotiating this? The lender, the realtor,
when we drop the contract,
you
we
all
would
be
include, the ask for the concession. But I mean, again, in this seller's market, if you are able to pay your own closing costs,
right.
I would, recommend that. There are a number of grants out there. Right now there's a couple grants that lenders are offering where you can cover your closing costs. But again, like you were saying, it kind of ties up the seller. So what you want to do when you're submitting an offer is want to make it appear to be as smooth and easy as
an easy transition,
an easy transaction for the seller. So they have less things to worry about, because at this moment, all they want to do is sell the home. Like, they have whatever motivation that they have. So you want to show that, you are serious. So again, if you don't have to do concessions, and everybody's situation is different. Sometimes you need them. So if you need them, we can try to position the offer, as strongly as possible. So it's a win-win for everybody. More of a down payment. You might want to put more of a down payment that shows that you have more skin in the game. You are invested. Like, again, you're showing that you're serious about it. A lot of, sellers like quicker closings if you're able to accommodate, a relatively quick closing time frame, especially if it's a rehab kind of home. I'm trying to think. There's escalation. There's a number of things that you can do, but it really depends on whom you're working with. And, you just got to position it as strong as possible.
Right. I feel like this is like, I'm hearing the both of you, and I feel like if it is, you're going for this job, and that's the only way it comes out, because you don't want the other folks. Right. You're going for this job, and everybody wants this one job. It's the best job. Let's say a
Everybody
job at
wants a
Google.
job, yeah.
I mean, who don't want to work at Google, right?
Yeah.
And 20 people is like a 100K a year, benefits, everything.
Yeah.
So everyone is coming with to get this one job, and only one person can pick it.
Only one person will
wins
get
that
it.
job,
Only
right?
one
That's the
person will get
feeling I get when you look
Yeah.
at owning a home.
I think, you know, definitely making a realistic offer, placing a realistic offer to the seller, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I would, in Trinidad we'll say make it tantalizing. In Trinidad we'll
be
say,
saying that now.
yeah, right.
Say that.
Yeah, make it.
Tantalizing.
Everything we say, we like make it tantalizing.
Sweeten it up.
Sweeten it up. Sweeten the deal now.
Sweeten it up a
Sweeten the
little
deal.
bit,
Sweeten the deal. Right. So.
I'm gonna get some offers or
Right.
something with
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I'm like, this is very tantalizing.
Very tantalizing. Okay, so equity. I did not, I tell people I was completely, again, with the pacifier because I was so green. Such a baby. There was a lot of words I didn't know, like concessions and all of that. And one of them, you hear these words, but if it doesn't apply to you, it's like, until you're in the position. Or one of the words that is such a powerful word, and it goes along with equity. And there are people, and this is for people who already own their homes, who do not know they can get equity, I might say this right, on their houses. Or off of their houses. For their house. Okay, I wanted to know which one it is. So let's start with you. What is equity?
Well, equity is your net worth. Equity is, part of the formula or the ending result of, your assets minus liabilities is your equity. So you have to have an asset, in order to have equity. So when you're renting, you are essentially just paying to borrow, your landlord's space. That's an expense. It's an expense. Like as an accountant, like the equity is the number. When you hear companies say they're worth, millions and billions of dollars, it's not cash that they have in their account. It's equity that they're talking about. The value of all their assets, less how much they owe for that assets, because they do borrow too, just like everybody else. When you net those two variables out, your net worth. So again, you have to have an asset, and again, that's kind of why I'm passionate about home ownership, because I'm like, if you gotta do anything, you need a roof over your head. That's the one thing we all need. And that makes it a commodity, that makes it an asset, because it's gonna be valuable forever. I don't care what technology comes out. You're always gonna need an asset.
Your car is gonna depreciate, but land, you always.
That property, somebody's gonna need it some way, somehow. So, having that asset, if you're gonna be putting out to, people are paying $3,000 in rent nowadays. Like, why are you gonna be your landlord's ATM machine? Like you're pulling, like I said, I get into debits and credits when I look at it as an accountant. So for me, I'm like, why constantly pull from your own equity to give your landlord when you could, be paying yourself, through your mortgage. So that's the easiest win for me. And I mean, there's so many other different types of assets out there, that you can eventually get into, but a home is the easiest win. So that's why I'm all for like the equity is what you really want, because that's what you're gonna have 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. When you are renting, you're just like stuck in a cycle. You're stuck in a cycle.
I know.
To me, I'm like,
you're
living day by day. Your house is working for you.
Right.
I always tell people, multiple streams of income is not you working multiple jobs.
Right. Don't work hard, work smart.
Assets that generate that multiple stream of income for you. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So Rishi, when you look at equity, so somebody who already owns a house and they come to you, they agree to, because I'm sure they're homeowners and they just bought the home and they've been fixing it up and don't know the more you fix it up, the more equity you have. You taught me that something as simple as changing your front door. Right? Like, or putting in new windows, you just build the equity, keeping it maintained. So what would somebody do if they were to hear this? Was like, oh wait, I could get money or equity of this house. How do they go from there?
Okay, so what equity is to me is your outstanding loan amount, right? The outstanding balance on your loan versus how much the house is valued at. So the difference with the two is how much equity you as an individual own into this house. You mentioned doors and windows. Two of the major things that would contribute and boost your equity in your home would be remodeling of the kitchens and the bathrooms. Right?
Really?
Yeah, those two remodels or renovations.
Because people take pride in a kitchen and a bath. Isn't that weird?
Kitchen and bathrooms.
Kitchen and bathroom.
Well,
You eat there.
Not me, I don't cook.
Right, but that's what I determine as far as equity. So if you have significant equity in your property, you could definitely borrow against that and refinance the home to pull cash, out of it. If you
And
like.
what is borrowing? Because again, this is easy words for you guys.
Okay.
The green person here, that you could borrow against it. What does that mean?
So-
I'm big on details.
So let's say right now your loan amount, right? What you owe on the property is $300,000. Okay. And your house is actually valued at $500,000.
Okay.
Right. You can refinance the house and pull cash out, a cash out refinance, and let's just say get $50,000 of that equity
Okay.
out of the property. So now you refinance, your new mortgage payment would be based on the $350,000,
Okay.
right? And the $50,000 you could use to pay off debt or to put your kids through college.
Or add some more fixer
Or add
uppings to
Buy
the
some more
house.
properties,
Right.
yeah.
There we go.
Oh yes, yep.
That's what I will go with. Here we
Contact
go.
Cynthia to buy
Buy
another
more
property.
property.
So that's as
And you got
Cynthia
the
mentioned, right?
bonus.
Yep. It's not the amount of jobs you have.
I
Right?
love that though.
Is the
Yeah.
streams of income,
Income.
The number of income streams that you have coming into yourself. Yeah.
Nice.
So-
is that what they will call a second? When you hear people say, "Oh, I have a second mortgage," is that the same thing?
No,
Is
no,
it?
no.
No?
Well, no, not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
You could do like, let's say for example, a line of credit.
Okay.
But what I just described was just doing a cash out refinance.
Cash out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that something your company handles?
Yes, we do.
Definitely. So,
I see the
yeah, you know it, right? He know me so
so-
well. Because I am Cynthia knows this. We all have that in common, the three of us.
So-
It's getting people to understand, and I really love what you just said. It's not having a bunch of jobs, because you're gonna run yourself straight to the grave.
Yeah.
It's coming up with ideas to have multiple income.
Multiple sources of income.
Right? You always say that, don't work hard, work smart, right? And you always hear these phrases, let your money work for you. These things, and this is how hearing these conversations is how it could come into fruition. There's so much more we could discuss. This is just part 2 to it. We didn't even go on the financial part, the credit. We still had to do
we
that.
still have to do the credit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be in part 3. Cynthia, are you gonna come back in the future? Did you
I had
enjoy
a good
this?
time.
Right.
Thank you.
Right, and we like it because it's a conversation. It's not like I guess we all chiming in. Feel free to bring someone with you. If you're one of them, you definitely want to bring as a contractor,
Okay.
or if either one of you could find one, because
Okay.
and that person could tell folks who ready to be like, wow, I could pull equity and finally refurnish my kitchen, and they will get robbed because these charlatans out
Yeah.
there.
You have to work with someone that's reputable.
There we go.
You
That
definitely
is
work with someone
insured.
that's
That
reputable.
is and knows their stuff, right? And then we still, like I said, we have to talk about credit, right? Tax season is coming up. I just
yes.
visited the IRS this morning.
Yeah.
Cause I got the money. Thank you, girl. Oh God, water. But what I love with the IRS, no, I'm serious. I'm self-employed. You listen. I am not ashamed because I have no problem telling people this because they can learn from it. You're self-employed.
Yeah.
Most of the times you owe the
Taxes,
IRS.
yeah.
That's why you set up a payment plan. I just went them to give them their little lump sum and just quarterly and all of that. And that's another thing I would like to discuss.
Okay.
Right? You as an accountant, you could chime in, and an ex-accountant, you still know this stuff. There's a lot when it comes to home ownership, buying property.
I think that's what we should talk about on the next
What's that?
on the next segment, because tax season is approaching, right? And I'm also doing something as far as the tax benefits and advantages of owning a house.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah,
So-
You
so-
see?
So yeah, I think we can.
Carlos and I can talk about our book.
Huh?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, you are an author.
Yeah.
Nah.
Author. Girl, last time I write anything was my ABC subject. You are an author, right? So you could talk about your book. You know, you and I would always have a bond.
Yes.
Right?
My sister, hold on. I'm riding down the streets like Yanni.
Right? In the dead of winter last year, poor Jimmy going all over the place. We crawled in all kinds of basement. No, that's not the one. This is the one.
This is the one.
This is the one. We found it. Yep, that's the one. I'm gonna put, you guys already have, but I'm gonna put it again. Feel free, they're both very accessible, and I know this from experience. I don't even consider them colleagues, I consider them friends now because they have really, both have helped me and they have helped people that I know, right? You're gonna get both their numbers, call them, start. Again, I'll say this, I said it the last time, a client said it best, on this planet, you can't make any more land. The land that's on this planet, that is it. You can make all the clothes, all the pants, all the red bottoms, all the sweaters, all the wigs, all the cars. You can't make any more land. So there are certain investments that we should all snatch up, you know. I know property is one of them. So these, they are not paying me. I'm not paying them. They're giving out this information for free. No, we're not. It's free. You don't just hear me say, I went to the IRS this morning and made a payment. What part of that you don't get? Like, you know, pension like cards. Like, Richie and Yanni cray. Like, where is my check? Right? What part of that you didn't get? Right? I one step away from having one side of shoe. Right? Guys, thanks for watching. We have a lot more videos coming up, not just with real estate. In a few weeks we have a doula, a midwife coming, a couple of doula, yeah.
Okay.
Somebody who helps with childbirth.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we have a lot coming up. We have a lot of people calling us now who wants to get involved in these videos that we're doing, anything to impact people, period, right? And you have a couple of behavioral therapists coming in to talk about mental health. And you know, you're wondering what that have to do with real estate. That has a lot, because if your mental health not good, man,
you're stuck. You're not buying it.
that's how so many people are. You know, I knew a young lady. She said she was so stressed she ended up losing her house.
Wow.
So it's all holistic. You have to put it all together to see the bigger picture. So it all works for the greater good.
Your health is your wealth, right?
There you go.
If you're not mentally sound,
you can't work properly. You can't take care of yourself, and you want the next thing, right? Yeah.
That's nice.
So I love these videos. I love these people. I love all the people that's coming in. Leave your positive comments. Ask questions because they will be there answering. Another thing, she has her own YouTube video, YouTube show.
Yes.
She does. She has her own. He doesn't have one yet. Please convince him. He doesn't have one yet. He's on Facebook, right? But she's on YouTube. So you could head over to both their Facebook. Their information will be there. Facebook, YouTube, and they talk about actually what we are talking about now on a way wider scale. All right. Ask them questions. Shoot, say Yanni sent you. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Anything you want to say in closing?
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay.
It was a pleasure. Good time.
Right. And shout out to the Haitians and the Trinis.
Right? Tantalizing.
Sweeten it up.
Sweeten it. Yeah, you can't just say sweet. You have to say sweeten it up. Right? Only Trinis looking at me, both of me like, God, Trinidadians, and no home training. Trini to the bone. Guys, I love you all. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, and most important, even if you don't like, just share it. Somebody will want to hear this information, okay? Share information. Knowledge is power. All right? Love you guys, Ashley.